comments on our conference here in Juneau is our keynote back again, Amy Gallimore. Please give her a very warm welcome.
First, I want you to give yourself a round of applause for being here. How we're going to do that is take your cute little flippers, put them, you're like, yay, very good. Y'all hopped up on Sloppy Joe. You're like, Sloppy Joe. Take your cute little flippers, put them up in the air just like this beside your head. Very good. Then flip them outward. Very good. And I'm going to count it down from 10, but when I count down from 10, here's what I want you to do. As hard and as fast as you possibly can, I want you to give a round of applause to the person beside you, hopefully hitting their hand. Yes. I'll count down from 10. Ready, go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. Now, here's what I want you to do again. Flippers up, flippers out. I'm going to count it down from 10, but a personal thing I want you to do, turn to the person on your right and left and say, I'm sorry. Very good. Now, this time, again, as hard and as fast as you possibly can, but this time, close your eyes. Perfect. Very good. Go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. A couple of things happened there, which was amazingly phenomenal. Some of you didn't hit anything at all. You were just flapping wildly in the air. Others of you just got the heck beat out of you, which was fun to watch at the same time. So thank you for giving yourselves. You guys have done an amazing job. It's been very fun to sit here for the last 3 days and watch you guys debate on these resolutions. So again, every time Ariel talks, I just want to hug her. I'm like, that's amazing. And it's an amazing process to watch. So I just can't describe it enough. But I do want to tell you a quick story about Sherlock Holmes. So Sherlock Holmes and his good buddy, John Watson, were going camping one night. And so one night they went camping and they talked until the wee hours of the morning. And then when the nightfall finally came, they went into their tents and they zipped up their tents and they fell asleep for a long night's slumber. And then later on that night, Sherlock wakes up Watson. He's like, Watson. He's like, wake up. He's like, tell me what you see. And Watson's like, I see trees and darkness. And Sherlock is like, no. He's like, tell me what you see. And Watson's like, I see stars and constellations. Sherlock's like, no. He's like, tell me what you really see. And Watson's like, oh, it's a test, I get it. He's like, I see the Milky Way. And that we're just a small part of this great, big, vast world. And that we are put here to learn and to be all that we can possibly be. And he was so proud of himself, and he's like, Sherlock, what do you see? And Sherlock looks up and he says, I see that someone has stolen our tent. We make this world difficult, don't we? We truly do make it difficult. When you are born into this world, 50% of whether or not you are going to be an optimistic person or a pessimistic person is already predetermined. Your happiness set point is genetically predetermined. Now, we don't know that when you were born. When you come out into this world, the doctor does not say, oh, it's an optimist. We don't know that, right? It's not written on you, nor can we tell that. But 50% of your genetic happiness set point is already predetermined. So if 50% of whether or not you're going to be a happy person or a sad person is predetermined, that means that the other 50% is up to who? You. It is completely up to you whether or not you are going to be a happy person or a pessimistic person in this world. All I'm asking you to do is to do a small degree of change every day, do something every day to increase your happiness set point. We talked yesterday, specifically at lunch and through your workshop, we talked about what kind of person that you're going to be, and when you're having those thoughts of whether or not that you're going to continue in this world, not the things that you can do to find that person or be that person in somebody's life that can continue to get them through some of those crises. And I will tell you right now, I'm not asking you for a large change in this world. I'm sitting here today and I'm watching you. One of the things that you can do to find and increase your happiness set point is you can find and pursue your passion. The things that you are doing today, you are pursuing your passion. I talked about the other day that the most important place in this room is not necessarily in these chairs or the person holding this microphone. The most important place in this room are those doors, because outside those doors is where the change actually occurs. The things that you are doing and you are learning, if you don't take those back and you don't tell other people, then nothing is going to get resolved and nothing is going to change. 90% of the things that you do in this world are habit. They're things that you have learned from other people, your mom or your dad or your grandmother or the people that you live with. So 90% of the things, of the behaviors that you do are habits. So if you want to develop healthier habits or happier habits, then you've got to change the things that you do so they become part of your life. So my challenge for you is that if you want to develop happier habits and have a happier life and increase your happiness set point, then you've got to change and develop happier habits. At 211 degrees, what is water? Does anybody know? At 211 degrees, it's just angry, aggressive water, right? At 212 degrees, what does water do? Raging, boiling, really, really boiling water, it changes completely. So what I'm asking you today is not completely change your life, but I'm asking you for 1 degree of change. What is one tiny thing that you are going to do to continue to pursue your passion? I always loved Sunday afternoons on the farm. Sunday afternoons, my dad would preach, and we'd always all go over to Grandma's house. And Grandma's house was great because Grandmother would fix all this amazing food, and our cousins would come over, and we would have this big, huge family meal. And I always loved because we would clear the table, and as we were clearing the table, Grandmother would lean down to me, and as we clear the table, she'd lean down and she'd say, "Keep your spoon." And I love when Grandmother would say, "Keep your spoon," because you know what happens when they say, "Keep your spoon"? What happens when they say, "Keep your spoon"? Yeah, something good's about to happen, right? Something good, something sweet's coming, right? Something else even better is about to happen. Take your right hand, put it out like a teapot, please. Very good. Take your left hand, give me the appropriate number 1 sign. Thank you. Take the appropriate number 1 sign, put it into the right hand of the person sitting beside you. Some of you are like, this is very complicated. So, some of you are thinking way too hard about that. Yes, very good. Now lift your finger up just a little bit so it's just annoyingly hovering. Yes. Excellent. I'm going to count to 3. When I get to 3, the object is to grab the finger of the person in the hand beside you without getting yours caught. Some of you look terrified. One more time. I'm going to count to 3. The object is to grab the finger in your hand without getting yours caught. Let me give you a hint. If you're sitting here by yourself like this is wrong. Some of you are like, this is really easy. I don't get this. I'm concerned. On the count of 3. Ready? 1. I'm going too fast, I can tell. 2, 3. Let's try that one more time. Line it up one more time. Right hand out, left hand down. 1, 2. I've had a great time here with y'all, by the way. 3. One more time. Let's switch it up this time. Left hand out, right hand down for our lefties in the world. Left hand out, right hand down. Switch it up on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Let go of their finger. Some of you are like, ah! 1 degree of change, y'all. That's all I'm asking for. 1 degree of change. Find your passion. Pursue your passion. There is an amazing amount of happiness to be had. There is no way to be a perfect leader, but there's a billion ways to be a good one. Happiness is over here, but how you catch it is completely up to you. Thank you for the amazing opportunity to be in your state and to spend time with you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
changed in our favor. So, originally, we had an hour and a half for our last General Assembly. The things that we need to cover in our last General Assembly are only going to take about an hour. So that means that we have a full half an hour to continue resolution discussion. Doug? So just so you guys know, we are going to be starting on Resolution 15, and again, please be aware that we need to be quiet. Thank you. Ooh, very quiet. Good job. Ready? With that, I entertain a motion to bring resolution number 15 to the floor. So moved by West Valley, seconded by Craig. Oh. Sorry, I have to negate that motion. We do need to call back to order. I was just so excited. All right, so I call this meeting back to order at 12:19 p.m. Okay, so, sorry. I now entertain a motion to bring resolution number 15 to the floor. So moved by West Valley, seconded by Cheevac. Is there any discussion on bringing resolution number 15 to the floor? Since there's no discussion, we'll move to a vote. All in favor of bringing resolution number 15 to the floor? All those opposed? Resolution number 15 has been brought to the floor. Will the authors of resolution number 15 please approach the board?
Really bright right there. Oh, right. I'm Colton Cummins, and I proudly hand the mic over to Owen Fulton.
Okay. Alaska Association of Student Governments, Resolution Number 15. State law requiring that all Alaskan schools participate in the Federal School Breakfast Program, submitted by the Student Council of Sitka High School. Be it resolved by the Alaska Association of Student Governments, whereas students across Alaska are coming to school hungry without breakfast. Whereas students who attend school without breakfast tend to have issues in both academic and social realms. Whereas studies have shown that students who have school breakfast attend on average 1.5 more days of school, they average 17.5% higher math scores, and they are 20% more likely to graduate. Whereas Alaska does not currently require any schools to participate in the Federal School Breakfast Program. Whereas many schools in the U.S. already participate in the federal program. Whereas the school breakfast program provides breakfast available to all students in the morning before school starts. Whereas the school breakfast program also provides free breakfast to students with families that have an income below 130% of the federal poverty level, and reduced price meals to students of families that have an income between 130 and 185% of the federal poverty level. Whereas all families whose income is above 185% of the federal poverty level will pay full price for the breakfast provided. Whereas all schools participating in the school breakfast program will be reimbursed $1.55 for every free meal, $1.25 for every reduced price meal, and 25 cents for every paid meal. Whereas a participating school may receive higher reimbursement rates if more than 40% of the student body is receiving free or reduced price meals. Therefore, be it resolved by the Alaska Association of Student Governments that the state legislature should mandate that all Alaskan schools participate in the school breakfast program. The action statement is that if resolved by the General Assembly of the Alaskan Association of Student Governments, it is to be sent to the Governor of Alaska and the Alaska State Legislature via the State Capitol building in the Anchorage office.
The author now has 2 minutes to state their platform.
Okay. So I know that as soon as we open up this to debate, someone is going to bring up funding. I know it'll happen. I want to talk about funding because it differs from state to state. There are many states that have implied a law similar to this. The funding could be coming from the federal level, it could be coming from the state level, it could be coming from cities. We don't know. That'll be up to the Alaska State Legislature if this is passed. But I want to draw your attention away from the money issue regarding this, because this is really a selfless act. Passing this resolution would be helping the students who need our help the most, those who are coming to school hungry. In the last General Assembly meeting, we asked for a 15-minute extension of the Assembly meeting, which was kind of unpopular. And you know why? And as it was stated, I forget who stated it, but someone said they really like lunch. And the reason why, when you're hungry, you can't think. You can't function well. And we see this in Sitka all the time. I don't have exact numbers for you, but I do know that a substantial amount of students who attend Sitka High School come to school hungry. They go to our office and they beg for granola bars and other snacks because they don't get anything at home. If we do pass this resolution, it would require all schools to participate in this program, which provides breakfast for students. I know there are a couple schools in Alaska that already do this, and they have been running very successfully. So I please ask that that the General Assembly here support this resolution, not because this, however small the population of students that come to school hungry may be, they are still in need of our help. And it's something that we as AASG need to pass because it is beneficial to all students involved. In addition to that, breakfast is offered to everyone, so you wouldn't have to wake up so early to get breakfast. You could come to school, within 15 minutes of starting time and grab a nice breakfast. So please, if you would, support this resolution. Thank you.
We will now move on to region reports.
Region 2 did not get time to discuss this resolution.
Region 4 supports this resolution.
Region 3 did not have time to discuss this resolution.
Region 5 did not have time to discuss this resolution.
Region 6 did not get to this resolution.
Region 7 has not yet discussed this resolution.
Arrow. The floor is now open for discussion on resolution number 15. The board recognizes Hutchison.
Catherine Rohde, passing the mic off to Christine Kiesler.
I'm not sure about any of the other schools in the Fairbanks area, but I know at Hutch we have something like this, and it's really nice because if you're running late in the morning and then you can get food, even if it's a small snack, it doesn't necessarily have to be breakfast, but we offer it. And it's really nice, and people, I've noticed first period, everybody's much more awake and more active in the class. So I think it's a good idea.
The board recognizes Lake and Penn with a point of information.
Hi, I'm William, passing the mic off to Nathan Ward.
I have a question directed at the author. I like the idea of breakfast just as much as the next guy because, I like to eat. But what would you say, makes up a breakfast that would be, served at school?
The board directs your question to the author.
That is a very good question. I would have evidence with me to say what the federal requirements are for the school breakfast program, but unfortunately I was not able to print them off because the government shut down. So, or was, as of the time I was in Sitka, and we're trying to be paper-free here. So I don't have the evidence to show you what the actual breakfast would be. I do, maybe another school that has this program could say that. Thank you.
Thank you.
The board recognizes Monroe Catholic with a point of information.
Andrew Walter, passing the mic off to Jordan Terrio.
Hello, I'm Jordan Terrio, and I have a question for the author. I was wondering how this would apply to private schools who are not federally funded.
The board directs your question to the author.
I believe with the federal school breakfast program, it only applies to schools that are federally funded. So private schools would not, I think that they are allowed to participate in it if they want, but this law would not pertain to private schools.
The board recognizes Ben Eielson with a point of privilege.
I'm Jeffrey Kazmarek, handing the mic to Sarah Schreiber.
Hello, can we please capitalize whereas in whereas statement 3? Thank you.
The board recognizes Petersburg.
Shaylee Dahl, handing the mic to Carly Tate. Petersburg High School has this program in place right now at our school, and teachers especially have noticed the difference in how students behave. We're a lot happier. Our test scores have improved. Breakfast is very important, and so we fully support this resolution. And just to note on what we get, you get a huge breakfast. There's fruit, there's oatmeal, we have cereal as an option. We usually have 1 or 2 choices as to what you can eat to help every picky eaters. Like, we accommodate a large portion of our school, so.
The board recognizes Lumen Christie with a point of information.
This question is directed at the author. So for students that aren't able to get to school in enough time to get breakfast, such as students that take the bus that will only arrive roughly around 10 minutes before school starts, they won't be able to have time to have breakfast, so what's going to happen to them?
The board directs your question to the author.
Could you repeat the question?
So for students that don't have enough time in the morning, basically what will happen to them if they don't get breakfast?
Another good question. With this program, at least if a school does choose to participate, they can change their bus schedule or change the schedule or time that breakfast is served. Nowhere in the actual law or federal program does it state that a school has to change the schedule. That would be up to the schools if this law is passed.
The board recognizes Bethel with a point of information.
I'm Ethan Blevins, and I'm passing the mic over to CJ McCormick.
I have a question for the author.
Go ahead.
So at our school, the food that is prepared for us isn't prepared at our school. It's actually prepared at the elementary school. So I guess, how would that work? Because it would make things incredibly complicated.
The board directs your question to the author.
With the federal breakfast program, it runs a lot like the school lunch program, which is also a federal program, which states that the food, where it comes from, will be decided by the schools who participate in it. As for you guys, right now I don't really know what to tell you. I do know the food will be coming from either a federal food bank or from a community food bank somewhere. It'll be coming from somewhere that you as the school decide. I really don't know what to tell you in regards to the food being prepared at your middle school.
Thank you.
The board recognizes Chivak.
Giovanni Brown, passing the mic to Mary Pinkike.
I just want to say again that I really support this resolution because it would help with the low-income families and it would help in attendance because at our school, it's a K through 12 school, and the cafeteria, when they serve breakfast, it's usually full.
The board recognizes Lake and Penn with a point of information.
Hello again. My name is William. I'm passing the mic off once again to Nathan Ward.
Yeah, my name is still Nathan Ward. At our rural school in Lake and Penn, we get a shipment of freeze and other canned goods once every few months, and the freeze is usually around 1,000 pounds that we get flown in, and it basically fills up the entire kitchen and all the freezer space. So I guess it would pretty much depend on what the breakfast would consist of, but if if we don't actually have storage for what we're going to be serving for breakfast, I'm just not sure how that would affect what happens.
The board directs your question to the author.
Again, with the, I think when the Alaska State Legislature, if this is passed and it goes to the Alaska State Legislature, I think it's safe to assume that they will take all aspects into account. And that is definitely a concern that needs to be addressed for your school. And I'm sure your school, and again, it'll be up to the school to provide space. Maybe the state will be willing to, provide more storage for you guys. At this point, that's a question I don't know the answer to.
Thank you.
The board recognizes Skagway.
I'm Hannah O'Daniel, passing the mic to Jade Cook.
I love the idea of breakfast for students. I think that'd be super beneficial for everyone. But the only problem I see with it is the federally funded part. I think a state-type legislature for it would be much more effective for Alaskans, because I know this is just for Skagway personally. When we were on the federal lunch program type thing, and we just switched this year to the Alaska Grown, Alaska Grants, that sort of thing, and we had to eliminate our federal funding because the federal regulations prevented us from having certain Alaska Grown type things in our lunches, and we decided that'd be much more healthy to go to Alaska Grown. And what I'm worried about is that if we were to go and implement the federal school breakfast program, that a lot of the Alaskans grown stuff would come into question. And I love the idea of breakfast, but I think it's very important to consider how healthy the breakfasts are, because oftentimes, for instance, I know we had to do renovations on our kitchen, because before, with federally funded lunches, they're essentially reheating already cooked foods for the most part, and now our chef or whatever is actually cooking food, so it's very different. And I just think that a federally funded program with all its red tape is not the way to go. Maybe something with the state would be better. Thank you.
The board recognizes Craig.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Trojan. I hand the mic to Keen Bird.
Hi, I'm Keen Bird. I'd like to say that our school does a breakfast program, and one of the big things we had in the beginning, I've heard of because it started a lot before I joined the school, but kids couldn't get to school on time like others have asked. And so what we did is we allotted a 15-minute period in between first and second so that kids could get to school on time and go to the first period, but then everyone could be there, and they had that time where it wasn't interrupted, so you couldn't be late because you're already to school. And another thing we do is it's directly, the funding and the food comes from our lunch program. It's the same thing. And we got a grant from the people that are funding our lunch, and they gave us the money to buy breakfast. And we always have healthy foods, breakfast every morning is optional. Twice a week, they give us a hot breakfast, so French toast or something like that. And there's always fruit and milk, and so it gives you a filling breakfast so that you can start your day right. Thank you.
The board recognizes Haynes.
Zeke Frank from Haynes, passing the mic to Chris Turner.
I'm Chris Turner, and due to limited time for other resolutions, I move to call the question.
Seconded by Juneau-Douglas. We will now vote on calling the question. All in favor of calling the question on the resolution? Placards high, please. All those opposed to calling the question? The question has been called. We will now move to a vote on the resolution. All those in favor of resolution number 15, please raise your placards. All those opposed? Resolution number 15 passes. Would the authors like to ask for it to be passed unanimously?
Of course.
Is there any opposition to passing the resolution unanimously? Resolution number 15 passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Is that all the state ones? Is that the last one? So we go back to 7. One more state one.
Moving right along, I entertain a motion to bring resolution number 17 to the floor. So moved by Lathrop, seconded by Haynes. Sorry. Is there any discussion on bringing resolution number 17 to the floor? The board recognizes Juneau-Douglas.
Johnny Elliott passing the mic to Ruby Steedle.
Logistically, no. Pretend that the con mic, it'd be kind of hard for them to get over there.
Okay, so I believe, I was not in here when we said, but I believe we gave ourselves 30 more minutes, maybe it's a little bit longer, to keep working on resolutions. And as this is, in fact, a statewide resolution, but it does not directly pertain to schools, as we're representatives of schools, and we have a very limited time, I propose we do not discuss this, as it's going to take up the entirety of our remaining time.
Is there any other discussion on bringing resolution number 17 to the floor? We're still in order. The board recognizes Bethel.
CJ McCormick passing the mic off to Ethan Forbes.
I move to postpone this resolution indefinitely.
Is there a second? Seconded. Okay, seconded by Unalaska. We are now in the discussion of the motion to postpone resolution number 17 indefinitely.
And let me just clarify, we can do that. That just means that the author does have to resubmit, because AASG will not hold those resolutions over. The author would have to resubmit it to the vice president. So it's pretty much the same as just not bringing the resolution to the floor in the first place. But now we're on the motion.
Is there any discussion on is there any discussion on postponing resolution number 17 indefinitely? Since there's no discussion, we'll move to a vote. All in favor of not bringing resolution, or postponing 17 indefinitely? All those opposed to postponing resolution number 17? Resolution number 17 will be postponed indefinitely. No. Don't snap. Someone wrote it. Come on.
Now 7?
So since we finished all of the resolutions pertinent to statewide issues, we can go back to our regular resolution order. With that, I entertain a motion to bring resolution number 7 to the floor. So moved by Ben Eielson, seconded by Yakutat. Is there any discussion on bringing resolution number 7 to the floor? Discussion on bringing resolution number 17 to the floor? All right, we'll move to a vote. All in favor of bringing resolution number 7 to the floor? All those opposed, same sign. Resolution number 7 has been brought to the floor. Will the authors of resolution number 7 please approach the board? The board recognizes Kodiak.
Then you take a break.
I'm Ashley Rohr, and I'm passing the mic to Bethany Fish.
Alaska Association of Student Governments, Resolution Number 6, revised Kodiak High School fight song submitted by Kodiak High School Student Council Executive Board. Be it resolved by the Alaska Association of Student Governments. Whereas the Kodiak High School fight song should be revised to instill more school spirit in the student body. Whereas one of the primary goals of our student council is to encourage more school spirit within the student body. Whereas when students are excited about school, their attitude for learning is affected positively. Whereas a quality fight song is a key part of school spirit and involvement. Whereas a quality fight song encourages students to represent their school with pride. Whereas our current fight song does not engage or energize students or faculty. Whereas our current fight song is long and difficult to commit to memory, resulting in a lack of spirited participation at school events. Therefore, be it resolved by the Alaska Association of Student Governments and the General Assembly of AASG that Kodiak High School should revise its fight song to instill more school spirit in the student body. Action statement. If approved by the General Assembly of AASG, a copy of this resolution will, with AASG's seal of approval, will be submitted to the Kodiak High School's administrative team, and upon approval, the revision process will be initiated.
The authors now have 2 minutes to state their platform.
Okay, so I feel like this resolution is pretty self-explanatory. Our fight song really kind of stinks, and no one knows it. I would sing it for you, but no one knows it, including myself. So we really need to get this changed so that our school can be more spirited and kind of get more involved in school stuff. And I know you guys are going to ask, well, like, what are you going to do to revise it? Like, how, like, what do you want to change it to? We don't know what we want to change it to, but this is just to get permission from our administration to change it. So, yeah.
We will now move on to regional reports.
Region 2 supports this resolution.
Region 3 unanimously supports this resolution.
Region 4 unanimously supports this resolution.
Region 6, you can go ahead. We'll come back.
Region 5 supports this resolution with noted opposition.
Region 6 unanimously supports this resolution.
Region 7 unanimously supports this resolution.
The floor is now open for discussion on resolution number 7. Oh, sorry. Region 5?
Region 5 unanimously supports this resolution.
Excellent. The board recognizes Juneau-Douglas with a point of information.
Johnny Douglas, oh my goodness. Johnny Elliott passing the mic to Ruby Steedle.
So we don't really have a frame of reference for what your fight song is because it wasn't included as a citation. So we're wondering if you could sing any parts that you do know, just so we can hear it.
The board directs your question to the author. Go ahead.
Okay, I don't know the tune, but here's the words. And Doug, I think they're down there if you could scroll. Okay, so I'll read it to you. It says, when the Kodiak Bears walk down the street, they look 100 per from head to feet. They've got the style, the smile, the winning way. And when you look at them, you feel you want to say. You say, now there's a team I'd like to know. They've got the high school spirit and the pep to say, go, go. They've got the sportsmanship that can't be beat, because we're the team from Kodiak High. There it is. And our pep band, I don't even know if they play the right tune, so yeah.
The board recognizes Matt Sukuriatek.
This is Ariel Haas passing off the mic to Nels Yuri.
Hello there, my name is Nels Yuri, and I am the student body president at Kodiak High School, and I can tell you that that song, as phenomenal as it is also played to some really happening jazz music, so help us out here, guys. Thank you.
The board recognizes Lake and Penn.
This is William Lynn passing the mic off to Nathan Ward.
In light of the fact that we are pressed for time, and I think we can all agree that that wouldn't really pep up our student group, I move to call the question.
So moved by Lake and Penn, seconded by Haynes. So moved, seconded. We are now going to be voting on calling the question. All in favor of calling the question? Any opposition? The question has been called. We will now be voting on resolution number 7. All in favor of resolution number 7? Any opposition? Would the authors like to ask for the resolution to be passed unanimously?
Yes, please.
Is there any opposition to passing the resolution unanimously? Resolution number 7 has been passed unanimously. We will be doing one last resolution. I entertain a motion to bring resolution number 8 to the floor. So moved by West Valley, seconded by Mount Edgecombe. No. Yeah, I guess. So the floor is now open for discussion on bringing resolution number 8 to the floor. Any discussion to bring resolution number 8 to the floor? All right, we'll move to a vote. All in favor of bringing resolution number 8 to the floor? All those opposed, same sign. Resolution number 8 has been brought to the floor. Will the authors of resolution number 8 please approach the board? Just for your guys' reference, Doug will be acting as our parliamentarian while Ariel reads her resolution. The board recognizes Matt Sucre Tech.
This is my parliamentarian mic.
Be resolved by the Alaska Association of Student Governments, whereas a yearbook is most effectively created with a class designated for the yearbook, whereas yearbook is a self-sustaining class, whereas it has turned a profit over for the last 3 consecutive years, whereas it has traditionally been one of the school's most competitive classes, whereas yearbook is recognized as valuable by students and staff, whereas 3 teachers have offered to step in as advisor for a yearbook extracurricular, whereas 96% of Matsu Career and Technical High School's yearbooks sold last year, whereas yearbook class is solely responsible for the advertisement, creation, and distribution of the yearbook, whereas putting together a yearbook allows students to develop many important skills, whereas through yearbook class, students learn task and time management skills, whereas through yearbook class, students learn leadership and teamwork skills, whereas the Associated College Press recognizes yearbook as a form of journalism, whereas yearbooks play an important role in high schools, whereas yearbooks promote school pride and unity, whereas yearbooks promote social interaction, whereas yearbooks are a traditional element of high school, whereas a yearbook class would enhance the learning opportunity and connectivity of CTHS. Therefore, be it resolved by the Alaska Association of Student Governments that Matsu Career and Technical High School include yearbook as a class in the 2014-2015 school year. Action statement. If resolved by the General Assembly of the Alaska Association of Student Governments, it is to be delivered to the administration of Matsu Career and Technical High School for approval.
The author now has 2 minutes to state her platform.
All right, so my delegation has left me, and I'm not a yearbook expert, but I will do the best that I can. So, last year we had a yearbook class at our school, as we have since the beginning of our school. We're now 7 years old, and that was run by a specific teacher. As his position was cut this last year, the yearbook class was also cut. Our administration does not see yearbook class as a very necessary class for our school, and upon many discussions with him, he has allowed us to have an extracurricular and a stipend for that. But students at Matsu Career and Technical High School want more. We'd rather have a class in place so that we can have a traditional yearbook. Since we aren't a traditional school, we don't get as many of those traditional aspects, and while we enjoy that we're career and technical, we'd also like to have some of the same opportunities that kids at traditional schools have. Also, instilling a class would allow us to make sure our yearbook doesn't go online. And that's something that our administration wants. They want our yearbook to go online, and that's something that our student body does not want. And we have had many discussions and many conversations with all of our peers, and they would like a traditional yearbook. So along with that, we are a career school, and we believe that yearbook promotes that career school ideology and is another avenue for students to get better skills. And we're getting a new addition to our school, which will include a pathway that includes more journalism aspects, and yearbook would fit well into that. So please help us out. Show our administration that the state of Alaska supports yearbooks.
We will now move on to regional reports.
Region 2 unanimously supports this resolution.
Region 3 unanimously supports this resolution.
Region 4 unanimously supports this resolution.
Region 5 unanimously supports this resolution.
Region 6 unanimously supports this resolution.
Region 7 supports this resolution.
The floor is now open for discussion of resolution number 8. The board recognizes Lumen Christie.
I'm Joseph. Pass the mic to Quade Brooker.
Okay, seeing how everybody just wants to say swell and dandy things about this, and everybody loves Ariel, I just say that we call the question.
Seconded by Haynes. We are now going to be voting on calling the question on resolution number 8. All those in favor of calling the question on resolution number 8? All those opposed to calling the question on resolution number 8? Okay, I did not get that. You guys need to raise your placards really high, so we are going to re-vote on calling the question. So be very clear with your placards. All in favor of calling the question, including South Anchorage. All opposed to calling the question, please raise your placards. Hey, parliamentarian, what do you think? Our parliamentarian says division of the House. So we are going to do a division of the House. Hold on before you move. All those in favor of all those in favor of calling the question, please move to this side of the auditorium. If you are not in favor of calling the question, please go to this side. Quickly and quietly, we're very pressed for time.
Please limit sidebar conversation. We are still in order.
We are still in order, so please, I know it's hard because everyone's moving around, but please limit sidebar conversation. Gracias.
Evan, I do the math. 10? What about over here?
24.
The question has been called. Please return to your seats. Perfect schedule-wise. This is perfect schedule-wise. Please return to your seats. Since the question has been called, we will now vote on resolution number 8 submitted by Matsu Career Tech. All in favor of resolution number 8? All opposed, same sign. Resolution number 8 passes. Would the author like to ask for the resolution to be passed unanimously?
Yes, please.
Is there any opposition to passing the resolution unanimously? Resolution number 8 passes unanimously. Okay, that concludes the time. That concludes the time we have for resolutions. So great job to all of our resolution writers. You can wrap that. Elena is first. Okay, So first off, Elena has a couple of announcements or a couple of awards for us.
That's a good place to put her. Yeah, they'll give it to her at the end.
Okay, so we are going to announce the 4 new Spirit Awards that we have brought to this conference, and we're going to start with the regional delegate of the conference, starting with Region 2.
Okay. This delegate is attending his first AASG conference. Many first-time attendees are hesitant of participating in GAs in region meetings. This delegate does not have this problem. He is not afraid to share his views, and I often hear him speaking during GAs. I would like to commend Quaid from Lumen Christi as being the most active and involved delegate from Region 2.
You can come up.
So the regional delegate from Region 3 is Miss Christina Hoy. Christina Hoy had the courage to stand up to speak out at the mic as a first-time delegate. She showed region spirit and spoke out as a strong student leader. Christina Hoy received this award for being an outspoken student leader, having courage, and most importantly, showing her region spirit for the region of the hip thrust.
For Region 5, this delegate is a first-time delegate. If I may, he will receive this award for volunteering to step up on speaking the most and also volunteering to read the resolutions during our region meetings. Owen Fulton is receiving the Delegate of the Conference Award.
Okay, so for the region delegate of Region 6, this is his first time coming to AASG, and since he's been here, I've seen him grow so much as a leader, and he's gotten so much more comfortable around Region 6. He is very smart and I love answering all of his questions. This is Brian Forrest.
Region 7's regional delegate of the conference goes to Nathan Ward. Nathan Ward is a first-time attendee to AASG, yet he participates as if he was a veteran. His high energy and enthusiasm is really great to have around. I'm excited to work with him in the future AASGs. Congrats, Nathan.
Okay, so the next award that we're going to be announcing is the resolution of the conference. And we decided this together as an e-board, and we gave the resolution of the conference to the Unalaska City High School Student Council for the resolution for amending the TAD policy to exclude the use of nicotine. Does someone want to come get that? Okay. Our third award is the Region of the Conference Award. And the region that won this received the Region of the Conference Award for winning 2 of the 4 Twitter challenges, 2 of the 4 Spirit challenges, and hosting an outstanding conference. It goes to Region 5. And our final award and our most prestigious award is the Delegate of the Conference. And the recipient of this award was chosen for his exceptional participation at the Fall 2013 conference. Awkward. Okay, well, it's Owen, and he spoke during every resolution with extremely valid points that showcased his thorough understanding and enthusiasm for every topic at hand. Wait. He not only debated respectfully and with no bias, but showed respect and professionalism through his attire every day. On behalf of AASG, congratulations on receiving the first ever Delegate of the Conference Award, and thank you for your outstanding performance over the past 3 days.
So now I have some awards that pertain to the last spring conference in Healy. So will Ms. Marash please come up and approach the board? Ms. Marash, Ms. Marash. So we just wanted to give a big thank you for all the community members and everything that went on during the conference. So we have a thank you to the Usabelli Coal Mine. We have a thank you to the sound reinforcement specialists. I have all 4 of these for you. We have one for the Healy Technology team, and we also have one for Selena Dixon and the culinary team. So, big round of applause to Ms. Marash and our successful spring conference. Thank you.
With that, we will now move on to the presentation of our final resolution, our special resolution brought to you by the Executive Board. Please remember that this is still debate of a resolution, so you guys do have to be respectful and quiet, even though it'll probably be pretty fun. So with that, I entertain a motion to, nope. Have you learned nothing? Put it down. I entertain a motion to bring special resolution number 1 to the floor. Oh dear. So moved by North Pole, seconded by Monroe Catholic. Can't help it. Anyway. They haven't got one the whole conference. Okay, so is there any discussion on bringing special resolution number 1 to the floor? We just go on board. Any discussion on bringing resolution number 1 to the floor? All right, all those in favor? Any opposition? Resolution number 1 has been brought to the floor. We're already up here. All right, starting with Malia.
Be it resolved by the Alaska Association of Student Governments, whereas the state capitol is the best location for a student government conference.
Whereas Juneau-Douglas has an MVP hosting committee.
Whereas Ms. Germain is Germain.
Whereas the banquet challenged us as leaders and communicators.
Whereas every position for the executive board had candidates.
Really good angle. Whereas 10 resolutions showed up 10 resolutions made showed up. Oh, dang it. 10 resolutions showed up before the conference even began.
You can fix it because it's grammatical.
We're just submitted as read, maybe?
Whereas the deepest voice hailed from Sitka.
Whereas leadership intensives gave us tools in creating change, suicide prevention, team building, and healthy relationships.
Whereas returning OSOGers finally didn't have to attend welcome workshops.
Whereas we strobed at the strobe light dance.
Whereas there were 8 personal, unique, and uplifting candidate speeches.
Whereas OSOG delegates were heartfelt in valuing each other.
Whereas Michael Patterson challenged our leadership.
Whereas 7 cards make a partner, let's hope you can trade slob for cheerleader.
How the relationship people get it.
Whereas we can all be fire trucks through goal setting.
Whereas, Region 3, how do you feel? We feel good! Oh, we feel so good! Double it! Oh, triple it! Oh, Whereas, how is Region 3 getting away with that cheer? Wait, did we skip one?
17.
Whereas Sam King and Carol Waters sported purple hair.
Whereas we may never know which side the party is truly on.
You're not starting the cheer, are you? Please don't. Just making sure. Whereas this is the game of concentration, no repeats or hesitation.
Whereas coffee was spilled a record number of times in an auditorium that does not allow beverages.
Whereas pods took us on hikes, campus tours, and to the governor's mansion.
Whereas New Spirit Awards brought us together as an organization.
Whereas King Kong.
Whereas fruit by the foot for breakfast.
Whereas paperless resolutions made us made us enviro-friendly.
This is really ironic. Whereas Judy.
Whereas, happy birthday, Aiden! You are the best e-board helper ever.
Whereas Mr. Miles King gave his number to 300 people at one time.
Whereas, please raise your placards.
Whereas we found a cell phone.
Whereas I love it.
Wait, what is it? I love it!
I love it!
I love it! I love it.
Whereas West Valley is in the minutes a bajillion times.
Whereas tobacco.
Tobacco. It's not funny.
Whereas, please limit sidebar conversation.
Therefore, be it resolved by the Alaska Association of Student Governments that the 2013 Fall Conference in Juneau was a wild, hilarious, leadership-intensive, and valuable experience for each and every delegate.
Action statement.
If passed by the General Assembly of AASG, this resolution will stand as a reminder that Fall AASG was a force of change and student voice.
We are still in order. It's funny. Come on, we're still in order.
We will now move on to regional reports.
Region 2 unanimously supports this resolution.
Maybe not.
Region 3. Sorry, they're new to this job. Region 3 feels good about this resolution. I think. Wait, how do you feel?
No.
Okay, don't talk about that. We feel good.
Region 3 has a lot of wonderful adjectives for this resolution.
Seeing as I'm the only one from Region 4, I support this resolution. With noted opposition.
Region 5, how do you feel? They love it.
Region 6, do you support this resolution?
Region 7 loves this resolution. Obviously. With noted opposition.
No, don't call the question. I mean, what? You can call the question. Do what you need. Anyway, the floor is now open for discussion on, okay, they're going. Resolution special number 1. Yeah. Yeah, resolution special number 1. The board recognizes Juneau-Douglas with a point of information.
Ruby Seidel handing the mic off for Johnny Elliott.
I have a question directed towards AASG. Where is the party?
Okay. The board recognizes Hutchison.
Christina Kiesler passing the mic off to Brian Forrest.
Thank you.
The board recognizes Cordova with a point of information.
I'd like to know what the strobe is, and
What's like
if
a
one of
strobe
the
light?
executive board members could demonstrate it.
I choose Emily Sexton.
Please.
I legitimately have no idea what you're talking about. If you could YouTube it for me. But I don't
Didn't
know
you
what
help write that?
I didn't write that particularly, Steve.
But you read through it, yes.
I would totally.
Go, Emily. Go, Emily. Go, Emily. Word.
Weird. And that's how you strobe. That was mega strange. All right.
I'm enlightened.
Moving on. The board recognizes South Anchorage.
Doug, could you scroll down, please?
That's a point of privilege.
No, I just need to see how many whereas statements there are. Is there 33? How many? Oh, okay. I move to add whereas statement number 35, whereas Nels and Elena are dating.
Seconded by West Valley. Because I can. The floor is now open for discussion on the amendment. That is not a healthy relationship. The board recognizes Hutchison. Oh, sorry, Hutch.
I'm representing myself, Brian. Could you add more of those, please?
That's good. The board recognizes Lumen Christie with discussion on. Are you talking, or what are we doing here? The board recognizes Lumen Christie with discussion on the amendment to the resolution.
Is it possible to add a whereas statement?
Not right now, because we're in the discussion of an amendment. Come back later.
The board recognizes Juneau-Douglas.
I'm opposed to this because she's mine.
The board recognizes Kodiak with a point of information.
I'm Hannah Fish, passing the mic off to Bethany Fish.
I have a question directed towards Miles.
Go ahead, yep.
Why doesn't Elena sit with the other region reps?
Because her and Nels are dating.
The board recognizes Matsu Career Tech.
Please only stand in line if you are
Yeah,
talking
we
about the
actually need you to
amendment.
clear the aisle, so. Yeah. The floor is still open for discussion on the amendment to the resolution. No, don't call the question. I mean, what? Anyway, since there's no discussion, all in favor of the amendment to the resolution? All those opposed? The amendment passes with very noted opposition. The board recognizes Matsu Career Tech as we continue discussion on the resolution as amended.
Nels Yuri, I'm the student body president of Matsu Career Tech, just to state that for a second time. Passing the mic off to Ariel Haas.
Hi, I'm Ariel Haas, apparently not the student body president of Career Tech. Probably Kodiak High School. Anyway, I move to add whereas statement 36, whereas the Forbes, Yuris, and Zamudios are back.
Is there a second? Seconded by Hutch. They made a motion and needed a second. We are now in discussion of the amendment to the resolution. The board recognizes Juneau-Douglas with a point of privilege.
We don't have the point of privilege.
The board recognizes Ben Eilson with a point of privilege.
I'm Jeffrey Kasmerick, handing the mic to Sarah Schreiber.
Please limit sidebar conversation.
Hello, I'm Sarah Schreiber from Ben Eilson High School, and the apostrophes are unnecessary.
The board recognizes Bethel.
McCormick, passing the mic off to Ethan Forbes.
I move to amend whereas statement number 36 to add "we never left."
Oh, that's kind of cute. Is there a second to the motion? Seconded by Kodiak. Ooh. We are now in discussion of the amendment to the amendment. The amendment to the amendment is "we never left." The floor is now open for discussion on the amendment to the resolution. The amendment to the amendment of the resolution. The board recognizes Cordova.
I'd like to say that Adam indeed left. He's in Fairbanks, and he's not coming back.
Oh.
Ever. Just accept
right.
it now.
Okay.
I'm Enrique Samudio, by the way.
Hi, Enrique. The board recognizes Lake and Penn with a point of information.
I think for the last time, maybe, I'm William Lynn passing the mic off finally to Nathan Ward.
He's hoping it's the last time. It's probably not. I just want to say, what is that word after and?
Direct that question to Doug.
My laptop is really bad and my Z key stopped working. Those dots are Z's. Is a Z. They make a Z. Yeah, I'm ashamed.
Excuses.
The floor is still open for discussion on amendment to the amendment.
That word is Zamudios.
Okay, since there's no discussion on the amendment to the amendment, we'll move to a vote. All in favor of the amendment to the amendment? Awesome. Any opposition? We are now amendment to the amendment passes. We are now back to the discussion of the amendment as amended. Is there any further discussion on the amendment as amended? Seeing as there's no discussion, we'll move to a vote. All in favor of the amended amendment? Any opposition? The amendment as amended passes with noted opposition from Craig. All right. We are now back to the discussion of the resolution as amended. The board recognizes Juneau-Douglas.
Juneau-Douglas?
Yes. Yep, you're good.
Whereas statement somewhere in the beginning, first page for sure. I don't know if this is germane, but germane, as in the name, is spelled incorrectly. It's not Germian. That is a different name. And then, thing two, and whereas statement two, Juneau-Douglas is hyphenated, and we are very proud of our hyphen.
So since those are grammatical, we'll get those fixed. Is there any other discussion on the resolution as amended? Any other discussion on the resolution? The board recognizes West Valley.
I'm Sarah Fearsing, passing off the mic to Jenna Johnson.
I would like to add a whereas statement that says, "Can I please have a knife with this bagel?"
Is there a second? Seconded by Mount Edgecombe. The amendment to the resolution is, can I get a knife for this bagel? We are now in discussion of the amendment to the resolution. Is there any discussion on the amendment to the resolution? The board recognizes Hutchison with discussion on the amendment.
To the Brian Forrest from Hutchinson, would that knife be plastic or metal?
You need a point
Just-
of information placard.
I'm concerned for all of your safety. We're all high schoolers here. I
But
know you're crazy.
We can't recognize that question without a placard.
Oh.
It's really not funny.
The board recognizes Hutchison with a point of information.
Christina Kiesler, passing the mic to Brian Forrest.
Brian Forrest, would that knife be plastic or metal?
The board directs the question to the board? Oh, to the author of the amendment. West Valley, could you speak to the materials used with the knife? We hope that effectively
Back
answers
in
your
line if
question.
you have another question.
The board recognizes Hutchison with a point of information.
I'm sorry, please speak English. Do you need a point of privilege? Because it seems like you're not breathing.
All right, Christina Kiesler, passing the mic to Brian Forrest.
Would that be a spork? A spork and knife. A spork and knife. I'm sorry.
Maybe? Okay. Moving on. The board recognizes Bethel.
Kate McWilliams, passing the mic to Elise McKay.
I would like to add metal knife
because it is more helpful for the environment and we could reuse them.
We are still in order. Is there a second to the amendment? Seconded by Kodiak. It was out of my mouth. They got it. Okay, we're now in discussion of the amendment to the amendment. The board recognizes nobody. Making it back. Any discussion on the amendment to the amendment? All right, we'll move to, amendment to the amendment? Okay. All in favor of the amendment to the amendment? Any opposition? The amendment to the amendment passes. We are now back to the discussion of the amendment as amended. The board recognizes Thunder Mountain.
Zach Giannotti passing the mic off to Raphael Sell.
I would like to amend this to say, can I get a metal knife to spread cream cheese on the bagels so we don't inspire malicious intent? I know that as members of student government, we can get kind of violent, so let's make sure that doesn't happen. Thank you.
Is there a second to the motion? Seconded by Juneau-Douglas.
Could you come have a conversation with me, please?
What?
I don't know what to write.
Just as a word to our General Assembly, as fabulous as this resolution is, I'm super biased on it. We do have a lot more things we need to cover, just by the way, keep it in the back of your mind. With that, we are in discussion of the amendment to the resolution. So is there any discussion on the amendment to the resolution? Since there's no discussion on the amendment to the resolution, so with that, is there any discussion on the amendment? All right, we'll move to a vote. All in favor? That's some aggressive voting. All right, any opposition? You should give that back to Bethel. That was ridiculous. Anyway, we are now back to discussion of the resolution as amended. Hint, hint, not a lot of time left.
So make it good.
Make it good. Yes, what's up, Kodiak?
I'm Josh Morin, handing the mic off to Hannah Fish.
I move to amend the resolution to add whereas statement number 38 to read whereas I move to call the question.
Is there a second? Seconded by Skagway. Is there any discussion on the amendment to the resolution? The amendment being I move to call the question. The board recognizes Bethel, who is very conscientious of how much time we have left.
Indeed. CJ McCormick passing the mic off to Ethan Forbes.
I move to call the question.
All in favor of calling the question on the amendment? Any opposition? The question has been called. All in favor of the amendment to the resolution? Any opposition? The amendment passes. We are now back to the discussion. We are now back to the discussion of the resolution as amended. We need to end really soon.
Yeah, it will. Trust me. I know this.
Please, no more amendments. The board recognizes Lake and Penn.
I move to call the question.
Oh, so moved by. Wait, let's make it fair. Let's make it fair. Down.
Seconded by.
So moved by Lake and Penn. Okay, what? Cordova, I see you. Put it down. A little lower. A little lower. Watch out for Bethel. Is there a second? Oh my God, there's no way to know. Seconded by Alaska. They were literally making me nervous. All right, so is there any there's no discussion on calling the question, so all in favor of calling the question on the resolution? All opposed to calling the question on the resolution? The question has been called with noted opposition. So with that, since the question's been called, we'll now move to a vote on the entirety of the resolution as amended. All in favor of passing special resolution number 1? Any opposition? The resolution passes with no opposition.
Can we ask for unanimous consent?
Is there any opposition to passing? Is there really? Is there really? The resolution passes unanimously. Wait, no, we have to do, outdoor people. We have to do the people. We've come to a very sad part of our agenda. We must now recognize outgoing executive board officers. Go ahead, Nels. Wait, don't do me first. Don't do me first.
Okay, so the first outgoing board member that we have up on the list is Miss Emily Sexton. Emily Sexton has been a phenomenal part of our organization, and without her, we surely would not have taken as many steps forward through suicide prevention and different actions in this organization. So we have this engraved gavel for her that says, Emily Sexton, AASG President. All hail, Madam President Emily Sexton. Give her a round of applause. Thank you for your service. And so now the lovely Elena Prince is going to come up here and say goodbye to Doug McClanahan because she's with me now. But Elena, come here. Come here. Come here, Elena. Elena's doing the outgoing board report for Doug. That's what I'm trying to get at, and she just didn't catch the subtle hints.
My dearest Douglas, I commend you on your work as the AASG Vice President. It has been a lovely year with you and your shenanigans. Please don't tell Nels that me and you are dating also. It's kind of hush-hush. But it's been a really wonderful time, so I would like to give you this thing.
All right, so I'd like to recognize our public relations officer, Nels Yuri. So please come up to the podium. Come join me. From my very start of being a part of this organization, I remember Nels and his enthusiasm, and throughout this year, he's managed to serve AASG, all of you and all of us, with all of his public relation knowledge. He's always had an insightful thing to say, but also know when to let us take a breather, and we'll certainly miss him on the board, and we'll miss his impact on AASG. Thank you, Nels.
The next person who is coming off the board is Miss Ariel Haas. I'm sure you've never heard her hiccup before or anything, so it's not a big deal. Anyway, Ariel Haas has been one of the most aggressive board members I've ever met. Not like physically aggressive, she doesn't hit us or anything. But she is, well, sometimes, no, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I've had the pleasure of working with Ariel for an entire year, and it has been an extraordinary one. She does her job with astounding effort and dedication. She has been a valuable asset on the board. The only problem we've ever had with Ariel is that she tries to join every committee, and that's physically impossible, but she tries anyway. Anyway, thank you for a wonderful year of tireless service to our executive board. We couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Ariel.
I have the privilege of recognizing our wonderful Secretary-Treasurer, Chanel Afghan. Chanel and I have been going to school together for 3 years now, and I remember when she was this very shy, refusing to talk person, and then decided that she was going to run for our executive board as our secretary. And since then, she has joined the AASG e-board as our secretary-treasurer, and to see your growth as a person has not only been amazing, but also inspiring to me. So thank you for your service to the board.
And so, the last two awards that we have to give out at this conference are in appreciation of Tori Talley and Christy Germain for hosting this phenomenal conference. So would you please come up here and accept your awards? I think I can thoroughly speak for AASG that this was a phenomenal conference, whether it came to Amy Gallimore, our exciting pods, and just the overall camaraderie of all of this. I know that I'm going to miss this experience when I graduate, but I'm so proud of this conference in general. So thank you for your service, and thank you for holding a phenomenal conference, each of you.
My name is Colby Friel from Region 6, and I am the conference registrar for 2014 Spring AASG, being hosted at Ben Eielson High School, located in Region 6 on Eielson Air Force Base.
Hello, my name is Sarah Schreiber, and I would like to invite you all to our conference with Radioactive Leadership, because we want the skills, tools, and connections you make at AASG not only to radiate at the conference, but to create a radioactive growth so that the conference impact lasts for generations of AASGs to come.
When radioactivity was first discovered, the side effects were not immediately recognized by scientists. At the time, they didn't understand that when nuclei become unstable, they emit particles, radioactivity. We are these atoms. We emit greatness just by being here. Look around. Who knew we'd end up here in Juneau, Alaska, participating in a cataclysmic event such as AASG? At Spring AASG 2014, we want to create a foodjoy environment in order to nurture your leadership abilities.
We have a YouTube account where this video is posted currently, and we would encourage you to show this video to your student councils in your school to get them pumped up and excited for our conference. We will post the link on the AASG Fan Facebook page and on our conference Twitter. We also encourage you to subscribe to our channel to get video updates of how the conference is going up until April 10th.
Follow our conference Twitter at Spring AASG 2014, and we will have our first Twitter challenge after this General Assembly is adjourned. The first 3 delegates to find me and show me that they have followed us will have a special prize for you.
When you want something, you invest in it, right? You invest your time, your money, and even your sleep. Ben Eielson High School Student Council is willing to and has already begun to invest in amplifying and helping shape your leadership potential. That being said, we cordially invite all of you to our spring conference in Eielson Air Force Base. Don't forget to show all your student councils our video, our promotional video, and to follow us on Twitter, and thank you for your time.
Hello? Okay, so we will now move on to the announcement and swearing in of our new officers.
Very excited. So should we start backward or should we start forward? On the agenda, start forward. How do you get this? I think we did backward. We did backwards for everything.
Yeah, we do backwards for everything else.
Okay.
Okay, so we are. So we're going to work backwards. Well, there's not really. Okay. So we're going to start with parliamentarian, then secretary, treasurer, public relations officer, then vice president, and finally president. Unfortunately, we do not have our parliamentarian confirmed. Instead, the deadline for parliamentarian applications have been extended. We told you this a little earlier, but just to confirm. The applications for parliamentarian are due to Ariel Haas on Monday. So what time? Just Monday. Okay, so you have all day Monday. So all of that can do, and then we will do interviews by the phone. So if you are running for parliamentarian, it'd be wise to confirm an email address with Ariel as soon as possible. Okay, with that, we do have the officers for secretary, treasurer, public relations, vice president, and president. So first off, we'd like to start with the swearing in of our new secretary, treasurer. So you have to swear her in, and it is, ooh. Oh, we lost it. Okay. Okay, and that's it. There you go.
Celeste Kakigo, please approach the board.
Congratulations. Over here. Oh. I'm sorry.
Do you promise to conduct yourself as a representative of OSOG, to attend all meetings of both the General Assembly and the Executive Board, and to carry out the duties of the Secretary-Treasurer, which are to attend and take minutes of all meetings and teleconferences of the GA and Executive Board, present a financial report and budget to the Executive Board and the GA, to provide communication with the Executive Board regarding all financial matters?
Yes, I promise.
Next up is the announcement of our new public relations officer.
Will Andrew Walter please approach the board?
Hustle, Andrew.
Raise your right hand, please. Thank you. Do you promise to conduct yourself as a representative of OSOG, to attend all meetings of both General Assembly and the Executive Board, and to carry out the duties of the public relation, which are to be responsible for communicating the actions and decisions of OSOG to the public, to be responsible for compiling or updating the student handbook, to coordinate to serve as communication coordinators for member schools? Do you promise? Raise your, no, right hand.
I promise. I promise.
There you have it.
Yeah. Do you have the oath of office? Stand behind him. We'll now move on to the presentation of our vice president.
Yes.
Oh, hey, you beat me to asking for a drum roll. Oh, yeah, so drum roll. Could I please have Steve Yuri approach the board? Please raise your right hand. Stieg, do you promise to conduct yourself as a representative of OSOG, to attend all meetings of both the General Assembly and the Executive Board, and to carry out the duties of the Vice President, which are to assume the powers and duties of the President in the event the President vacates the chair or is absent, and to inform the public and appropriate government agencies of all OSOG resolutions after the fall and spring conference, and to maintain a hand-down document of all resolutions?
I accept.
Congratulations.
All right, we're done. I'm just kidding. We're not done. I have to give this up. All right, so we'll now move on to our presidential winner. So drum roll, please. I am proud to congratulate Ms. Ariel Haas as our next president. Okay, please raise your right hand. Do you promise to conduct yourself as a representative of OSOG, to attend all meetings of both the General Assembly and the Executive Board, and to carry out the duties of the President, which are to serve as a spokesperson for OSOG in relation with other organizations and in all matters that concern OSOG, to appoint standing and special committees to assist in carrying out policies and directions of the General Assembly, to serve ex officio member on all committees, to call emergency meetings of the Executive Board, and to provide an agenda to the General Assembly meetings?
I do. Accept. Next, we'll be announcing the nominees of the State Board of Education and Early Development representatives with Miles Kings. Just to clarify, these representatives will have to go through a second interview process and will be contacted by Carly Williams.
All right, since me and Carly have the positions that are most alike, would Rosalie Westphal please come up to the board? Evan from North Pole, and Kobe from West Valley.
Just congratulations. Shake their hands.
All right, congratulations. You guys will go to Anchorage Speed Board meeting in early December for your next interview.
So these are the candidates that we'll be sending to the State Board of Education and Early Development Board. And they will be picking the final selection in December, and they'll be contacted, like I said, by our current representative to solidify those interviews. So wish them luck. All right, so I believe that's it. And without further ado, I entertain a motion to adjourn. So, okay, early. Let's try again. Okay, ready? Oh. Just kidding. Yeah. Of the fall? Oh. Okay, so Anthony's. Yeah. So Anthony's report and the fall. We don't have a fall, right? Okay, sounds good. We're not quite done yet. All right, so first of all, We have not received a bid for our fall conference host for 2014. So if your school is interested in that, go back home, talk to your administration, talk to your advisors, and submit a bid to our organization. At this point, it's a first come, first serve process. So please get our bids so that we can have an OSOG in a year from now. All right. Next up is Anthony Leakenoff, our Region 5 rep, also chaired the survey committee, so he has some stuff to tell us.
Okay, so I promise that this will be a fairly fast and short presentation on the spring survey report. After you left from Healy, you guys took a survey that was online at osog.org, and this is just a little information about what we did with that survey and inputted the data for the next OSOG conference. Next slide, please. Okay, so what we did was that we formed into a committee, which that I chaired for, and we were given questions from the survey and made paragraph responses. Had a teleconference discussing the data and inputted into a PowerPoint and presented during the summer business meeting, in which was a much longer PowerPoint than this. Steps to a better conference. First, we had to get the data from the survey, which was from you. We analyzed the data and then planned to make it better. So this is a graph that's showing the people who took the survey. You have the majority as the students, and the advisor, chaperone, and other. Question 1 was, what region are you from? And the majority from the spring conference was Region 7, and Region 4 and 1 were the minority. Will you go to the next OSOG conference? I want everybody to stand up who was at the spring OSOG conference. Please stand up. I thank you for following through. Please give yourself a round of applause. Thank you. Next slide. And that's it. Okay, so I have one more game that I want to play with you all. I want everybody to stand up. If you are in an odd number of regions, please still stay standing. Odd number, even number regions, sit down. If you are from Region 7, please still stay standing. If you are girls, stay standing. If you go to Joanne Alexi School, please stay standing. If your name is Frankie Pavla, you are this year's winner from the survey. You win $25. Please come forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anthony. It was very informative. So be sure to fill out your surveys this year so we can improve your OSOG experience. Okay, next on our agenda, after we adjourn, we're going to have closing ceremonies in the, right here. So we're gonna stay here, but, so stay here for closing ceremonies, and then that'll be the end of our conference. Okay, so with that, I entertain a motion to adjourn. Oh my gosh. So moved by Sandpoint, seconded by Huna. Woo, seconded by Huna. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion on the motion to adjourn? Any discussion? Seeing as there's no more discussion, we'll now move on to a vote. All in favor of adjourning this year's OSOG, raise your placards. Come on, guys. We've got great closing ceremonies, so we'll still see each other then and later. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes with very much noted opposition. Hopefully we'll see you at spring. All right, with that, we're adjourned. Thank you.